I offer my respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnavas here and pray that whatever I speak today is from the Shastras and it is from the Guru Parampara, and I don't speak anything out of the subject. Please bless me so that I can do justice to myself. Today the subject matter that has been given to me is more to do with, going on with the month of Kartik. We have been doing a lot of Leelas in the month of Kartik, and Govardhan Leela, we celebrated the Govardhan Puja yesterday, and today the subject that we will be speaking will be on the pastimes of Lord Krishna killing Aristasura and also the anarthas that are represented by Aristasura. So we will take one shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 36th chapter, verse number 15. Evam kukudamina hatva tuyamanam dujatihi viveshagustam sabhalo gopinam nayanotsava evam kukudmina hatva stuyamanam dvijatihi viveshagustam sabhalo gopinam nayanotsava evam kukudminam hatva stuyamanam dvijatihi viveshagostam sabhalo gopinam nayanotsava. Evam kukudmina hatva gopinam nayanotsava. Anybody from the Mataji side would like to chant shloka? Evam kukudmina hatva stuyamanam dvijatihi viveshagostam sabhalo gopinam nayanotsava. Evam kukudmina hatva stuyamanam dvijatihi viveshagostam sabhalo gopinam nayanotsava. Over to a translation. Evam, thus, kukudminam, the humped bull demon, hatva, killing, stuyamana, being praised, vijativa, by the Brahmanas, Vivesha, he entered Gostam, the covered village, Sabala, together with Lord Balarama, Gopinam, of the gopis, Nayana, for the eyes, Utsava, who is a festival. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Having thus killed the bull demon Arista, he who is a festival for the gopis' eyes entered the covered village with Balrama. Please repeat the translation. Having thus killed the bull demon Arista, he who is festival for gopis' eyes entered the covered village with Balaram. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. This verse exemplifies the sublime contrast of spiritual qualities within Sri Krishna. In one 4-line verse, we simultaneously learn the Lord Krishna killed a powerful and wicked demon, and that his boyish beauty gave festive pleasure to his young girlfriends. Lord Krishna is as hard as a thunderbolt and as soft as a rose, depending on our attitude towards him. The demon Issa wanted to kill Krishna and all his friends, so Lord beat him into a wet rag and killed him. The gopis, however, loved Krishna, and thus the Lord's boyish reciprocated their conjugal feeling. Om Tat Sat. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to Canto 10 of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 36, and the text number is 15. Om Tat Sat. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshururmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatamritam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this is one of the verses in the 10th canto, chapter 36. I thought I'll refer it, and parallelly we have a lot of discussions that we can have on the demoniac qualities of people and devotees also. So how do we really get away from these demoniac qualities that we may have, and how do we really take up the spiritual life very, very nicely? Well, before going into those qualities, let's look at the verse. Verse is very, very nice, and within the 4 lines, we have very important things which have been condensed by Srila Vyasadeva. It is talking about how Krishna killed the wicked and the powerful demon Aristasura, and he is also talking about the beauty of this young boy who is called Krishna. Simultaneously, he is also talking about how he is pleasing his young girlfriends, and it also talks about how Krishna is like a thunderbolt as well as soft as a rose petal. So you see the contrast in the shloka, and this contrast is basically given saying that this depends on the attitude of the devotees. Yeah. The purport reads like this: Lord Krishna is as hard as a thunderbolt or as soft as a rose, depending on our attitude towards him. Yeah. So depending on how our attitude is, he becomes reciprocated to us. He reciprocates with us. If we become, or if our mind becomes demoniac, then he acts like a thunderbolt. And if we become devotees, like the gopis, like the Brajavasis, like the gopas, like the wonderful acharyas, then he reciprocates with us like a beautiful and a very soft rose. So that's the quality of Krishna, and he also here talks about the conjugal love which is reciprocated with the feelings. So these are some of the important things that today we will look at, and anarthas. Sure, all of us have, and I have more anarthas than any one of you present here. So in the Chaitanya Shikshamrita, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the summary of the demons Krishna killed, and not that all of them were demons, there were also examples of Indra and who was the other one? Brahma. Where they were not demons, but still they had the attitude which did not please Krishna much. And the pastimes of Brahma Vimohan Leela, the lifting of Govardhana hill, these are people who have antagonized Krishna, if not anything else. So it is very important that we kill the demon within our heart, because he resides, the demon resides within our heart, and he keeps troubling us. Not that he is always there with us, because when we become devotees, he once in a way shows up, and as we progress on spiritual path, he becomes tougher and tougher, this demon. And this demon is not easy to capture unless we are conscious of that demon being within our heart. Many times we feel we've become devotees, we've started chanting the 16 rounds, we've started attending the Mangalarti, we've started attending the Srimad Bhagavatam. So what happens? Then the demon starts waking up slowly. It starts capturing all your good qualities. And sometimes you don't chant your 16 rounds and still feel it's okay. Few days you don't attend the Mangalarti, it's okay. You don't go for yatras, it's still okay. You don't associate with devotees, it's still fine. You eat something nonsense, it's still okay. So you see, directly and very subtly, these demons start attacking our consciousness from being within. It's very easy to defeat a demon which is outside than a demon which is within the heart. This is within us. It's so difficult to pull this demon out and throw him away. Whereas you can fight with an enemy outside, a demon who is an enemy of yours from outside, but within, it's very difficult to fight. And that's where the challenge comes for devotees. Very many examples which are given. The example is given of, there are about 21 demons. I may not want to go into all of them, but maybe a few of them we would like to discuss today. Talking about Putana. Putana is a pseudo-guru, which may be either a person or one's own conditioned mind. Yeah. A pseudo-guru is somebody who's not a real guru but claims to be a guru. He says, come to me, I will give you some mystical power and you worship me. There's nothing called Krishna, there's nothing called God. I am God, I am Krishna. You are God, I am God, all of us are God. So that's the kind of mentality that we have. Then we have the cart demon, that is Shaktasura. The tendency to carry on a cartload of bad habits and accumulate in this lifetime, and these are all accumulated in this lifetime and in the previous lifetimes. And Shaktasura also represents lethargy and dullness of mind. Trinavarta, the world-willed demon. The false pride that arises from the material scholarship. I have a PhD, I have an MBA, I have an MS. I have graduated out of Wharton, I have graduated out of XYZ University. So these are all challenges that we get, and this raises because of the bogus philosophies that we see. Then we also have the examples of Nalakuvera and Manigriva. Especially this month we discussed about the pastimes of Nalakuvera and Manigriva being liberated by Lord Damodar, and they actually represent the arrogant pride and puffed up aristocracy. Nalakuvera and Manigriva were from a very aristocratic family. Yeah. And they were also very proud of their bodily features, that they were very beautiful. Yeah. And then Bakasura. Bakasura is representing the duplicit, cunning nature. It is also talking about the deceptiveness and false type of behavior that one has. Aghasura, the snake demon that we talk about, that represents the cruelty and violence. Then we have the Brahma Vimohana Leela, where Lord Brahma steals the cowherd boys and the calves. These are mundane activities and speculative scholarism. Dhenukasura, the ass demon, gross materialist, gross intelligence, ignorance of spiritual knowledge. But then today we are going to be discussing more on Aristasura, the bull demon. This is pride arising out of indulging in false religions invented by cheaters, which cause neglect of bhakti. In the 4th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it says, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya chadushkrita dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna comes to deliver the pious, but his main job is to deliver the pious. But then, while he comes to deliver the pious, he also annihilates the miscreants. And then the sub-activities of establishing the dharma, which could have been done by anybody else, but then Krishna says, I do it myself. And in the Garg Samhita, there's a very nice story of Vartantu. Vartantu was the disciple of Gargamuni. Brihaspati, my apologies. This is in Garg Samhita. Vartantu was the disciple of Brihaspati. And one day, while sitting in the class in the Gurukul of Brihaspati, Vartantu had stretched his legs. And stretching leg in one way also means that you don't respect the person. And that's why it's advised that in the temple hall or in places, you should not stretch your leg and sit. So when Brihaspati saw this Vartantu sitting with stretched legs, he curses him, saying that this is not an etiquette that you should sit in front of your Guru. And then he said, you're spreading your legs like a bull. So I bless you that you become a bull in your next lifetime. And sometimes these blessings, it's actually a blessing. It's not a curse. Yeah? Many times we feel, oh, that's a curse that you become a bull in the next lifetime. But here it is a blessing in disguise, where the next lifetime he becomes a demon. Demons could even become animals. Not necessarily they come only in human forms, they come in animal forms as well. We have seen so many of them. The bull demon, the horse demon. And he decides to come into Vrindavan, and he comes in the time during the evening when the cows are all coming back, and it's called Godhuli Vela. Godhuli is when the cows are returning back from pasturing grounds, and when they enter Vrindavan, they spread a lot of dust. That's called Godhuli Vela. And it was also said that if you don't find any other auspicious timing for any activities that you want to do, Godhuli Vela is the best. Because when the cows are returning after grazing in the forest, this becomes a very auspicious time. So Aristasura decides that he enters the village in form of a great bull. He had a very big hump. You've all seen hump on the bull, bigger hump. And then you could see the clouds around it. That's the kind of quality that this demon had. And he entered Vrindavan. And when he entered Vrindavan, everybody was trembling in Vrindavan. Why were they trembling? Because he would just pull the ground with his hoofs and make a lot of noise. While he's breathing, he makes a huge noise and everybody gets scared. The scaredness of Aristasura was so bad that pregnant cows and pregnant ladies would have miscarriage. That's the kind of intensity of the scariness was. And everybody in Vrindavan felt very, very fearful. And what happens when everybody feels fearful in Vrindavan? They do only one thing. They go to Krishna, they approach Krishna, they reach out to Krishna and say, Govinda, Govinda, Krishna, Krishna, protect us. And Krishna, as always, one more thing to mention, in Lalit Madhav, this is explained that this bull was so fearful, Aristasura was so fearful, that even Shiva would get scared of him and he would also hide along with his Nandi. So this fearful bull, which was scaring the local inhabitants of Vrindavan, was troubling everybody in mind. And while he was troubling in the mind, people reach out to Krishna and say, Krishna, please protect us. Every time it happens. This is one quality of the devotees that we have to understand. However small or however big the trouble is, reach out to Krishna. You don't have to worry. You don't have to think that I have the power to take care of this problem that I'm facing. It can be a material problem, it can be a spiritual problem. Just create that kind of a dependency on Krishna, saying that, please protect me. Can I take shelter of Krishna? Can I reach out to Krishna? Can I seek his help? So the inhabitants of Vrindavan reached out to Krishna and said, Krishna, please protect us. Krishna is happily standing there as always. He's never scared of anybody. And he scares the whole universe. He scares all the demons. When I mean universe, he scares only the demons and not devotees. Devotees are very dear to Krishna. And when devotees reach out to Krishna, he's always happy to help. So one should develop the quality of depending on Krishna, reaching out to Krishna and seeking his help. Even otherwise, not that when you land into trouble, not that when you are in problem you have to reach out to Krishna. Reach out to him every day. And that's what our acharyas teach us. So the situation became very, very terrible and all the inhabitants of Vrindavan were very scared. And Krishna reaches out to this demon and challenges him. And the best part is, Krishna, while he is challenging him, he is putting his hand around his friend. Who's his friend who's standing in this pastime? Subala. Just puts a hand comfortably. There's nothing that Krishna is worried about. Krishna immediately grabs the horns and pushes him. And he goes almost 18 steps backward. And then it becomes really wild. Aristasura says, how can you challenge me? And Aristasura still is considering Krishna as a little covered boy of Vrindavan. Despite the demons know this very well that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they don't acknowledge this fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is where the difference lies between the demon and the devotees. Devotees know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Sarva Karana Karana, and they recognize it. They acknowledge it. But with demons, despite their knowing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is Sarva Karana Karana, but they don't acknowledge that. They actually come in a challenging mood. And then Krishna actually, when he started breathing heavily, that Aristasura started breathing heavily, he again caught him by his horns and immediately threw him on the ground, breaking his horns. Very strong horns. He just broke the horns. And he started kicking his body. And while he was doing so, it was just like squeezing the wet cloth. In the earlier days, you had that, I don't know what you call it. In Hindi they call it dhoka, or in Gujarati they call it dhoka. Just went on hitting when you wash the clothes. In the olden days, now you have washing machines, so none of the Matajis or others use it. Even the maids don't want to use that these days. They ask you when they come to your house, do you have a washing machine? So that work goes down. So Krishna actually started hitting Aristasura with that, and then his eyes, Aristasura's eyes, started popping out of the socket. He started passing stool and urine, and then he passed away to the planet of, rather the kingdom of death. So this is the pastime of Aristasura. What do we learn from this pastime? As I mentioned right in the beginning, I'll read that again. Aristasura, the bull demon, it's the pride arising from indulging in false religious invented by cheaters which cause neglect of bhakti. Sure, this is a very nice thing that we hear also. Now people have started realizing what is Deva, what is Krishna. They segregate, their mindset is good, but then still they keep talking about, there's this nice, I wouldn't call it as nice, but at least recognizing Lord Ganesha is still better than being atheist. Say Deva o Deva, Ganapati Deva, Tumse Badkar Kaun. So Tumse Badkar Kaun is still acceptable because Lord Ganapati is the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. We still acknowledge a great devotee of Vaishnava. But then the added statement to it is, और भक्त जनों में हमसे बढ़कर कौन? They say among the devas you are one of the best ones, but among the devotees I am the best. I want to claim that crown. That among the devotees I am best because I am doing everything. I am offering you some flowers, I am offering you some fruits, I am having you during the festival season. So this is the problem with the devotees. That they acknowledge that the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but then they also start acknowledging their own achievements. And this has no reference to anybody in particular. I am generally speaking that when we do the alankar of the deities, dress them nicely, and when the curtain opens in Darshanarti, all the devotees offer their obeisances. They start looking at the Lord, and then they start admiring the Lord's beautiful dress. And the pujaris who have done the dressing come out and see, had I not done this dressing, the Lord would not have looked beautiful. I have done the dressing beautifully. The devotees are appreciating, the pujaris also appreciating themselves. This is the quality that we start developing over a period of time. I made the bhoga so nice, that's why the devotees are liking it. No, it's the Lord who made the prasadam wonderful for the devotees to taste. It's not the pujaris who dress the deities of Krishna very well. It's Krishna. Have you also noticed why do we show the mirror to Krishna? This I remember, I heard this from His Grace Narahari Chaitanya Prabhu long ago, about 25-30 years back. Why do we show the mirror to Krishna? Why do we show the mirror to Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra? So that whatever shortcomings that we have had, if we have not dressed them, then their turban is not proper, they'll set it right. So don't think that you're doing anything for the Lord. The Lord does everything for Himself. It's just that He gives you a little pleasure in getting involved in the service of the Lord. Well, let's see, very easy, even you can call a person just putting a stethoscope around his neck to be a doctor, but do you really know that the person is a doctor? Even kids these days, put dummy stethoscopes and then go around. So that doesn't mean that they become doctors. For a person to become doctor, he needs to have that kind of a qualification, go through primary, middle, higher secondary, college, graduation, post-graduation, go into medical college, study for so many years. And beyond that, they need to do internship, they need to do housemanship, they need to work under a senior, under the watchful eyes of the seniors, and then you become a qualified doctor. But in bhakti, the moment that we take up to chanting of 16 rounds, we feel we become great devotees. The moment you reach Srimad Bhagavatam, or you've completed Bhagavad Gita, or you've completed a couple of cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, we start thinking we become great devotees. It can hit you anytime. This anarthas can boomerang on any of the devotees. Many times when we see that the devotees have been very active, very service-minded, very humble, but then this one anartha can hit them and they go out of the moment. And that's the reason one needs to be under the shelter of senior Vaishnavas. That's the reason one needs to be under the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. That's one reason. Then one needs to seek mercy of the Vaishnavas anytime and every time. Aristasura was basically the pride arising out of indulging into false religious invented by cheaters, which causes neglect of devotional service. As I mentioned, chanting goes down, attending Mangalarti goes down, attending Sunday program goes down. The attachment towards the worldly affairs starts increasing. The attachment towards pride, position, money starts increasing. Due to their contaminated condition, they show disrespect to the devotees. They show disrespect to pure devotional service to Krishna, and that's called the New Age religion. As we mentioned earlier, the New Age religion, the New Age gurus say that I am Krishna, you are God, I am God, all of us are gods. This is what one needs to be very careful of. And if we see, there are cheating gurus and cheating swamis. And in Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto, there are 5 types of adharmas which are mentioned, which one needs to be very careful of. Vidharma, that's opposite of dharma. The second one is paradharma. I do whatever is fit for me, whatever I like. So that is paradharma, my own dharma. Then abhas dharma. It looks like abhas. Abhas is illusion. So that's another quality of a dharma. That's another type of a adharma actually, but it's called as dharma. And then you have the chala dharma. Chala dharma is the cheating propensity. They cheat you by just giving you some kind of mystical powers, show you some mystical powers, and you fall flat for them, saying that, oh wow, this God man is good. But then that God man is just cheating you. He just wants to take away whatever belongs to you. Or he wants to have false pride or a false fame that, so and so is my disciple. One needs to be very careful of 3 Ks. The first one is Kanchana, money or gold that we look at. Second one is Kamini, and the third one is very important, which all of us fall for. Kirti, which is pride. And all these three things act as worms within yourself, which eat you from inside. The moment you start having your desire for this 3Ks, gold, women, and pride, they start eating you from inside. They are like worms. Worms, if you have seen, they eat everything from inside. You can't see anything from outside. It's like the termite. Termite eats the wood from inside. Likewise, these three other anarthas eat you from inside, and your bhakti is completely khokla. What is khokla in English? Hollow. There's nothing. One knock and you're off. One needs to read a very nice poem written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sharanagati, Gopinath Mama Nivedana Shri. He says, I have so many anarthas, can you please help me? So the prayer of the devotee has to be always saying that I have so many faults, I have so many problems, I have so many anarthas. O Gopinath, can you please help me? And we sing this in the morning, you know. Govinda Madipurusha Tamaham Bhajami. But in our mind, we should say, somehow bachao me. Govinda Madipurusha somehow bachao me. And this prayer, well, this is not an authorized prayer. This is just for an understanding that I'm speaking about this. This is not from any of our Shastras. But one needs to pray like this, saying that somehow please save me from this material world. I have come into this contaminated world because of my own mistakes. And despite understanding so many instructions on the bhakti path, I've still not taken it. And I've taken bhakti to some level. But then these anarthas are pulling me back. They just drag me down. And they don't allow me to progress. And my ultimate desire is what? What is the ultimate desire of a devotee? What should be the desire of a devotee? Stay in the material for thousands of years? Go to the higher planetary systems? Golok? Increase in service? Serve? Serve Krishna in Golok. Serve the devotees. Well, all this is absolutely right. Mataji said, serve Krishna in Golok. But then Krishna is sitting there and watching us. With all the anarthas that we develop over a period of time while being devotees also, do you think Krishna will allow us to enter into Golok? No. Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas gave us this very, very simple way. Chant 16 rounds and practice these 4 regulative principles and you will go back home, back to Godhead. And that's confirmed by Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas. But at the same time, these anarthas have to be knocked off. Otherwise, you will not be able to chant your rounds. You will not be able to practice the 4 regulative principles. And very many demons like Aristasura, Bakasura, Trinavarta, they will keep coming in our life very regularly and shake us from our positions of being devotees, make us pseudo-devotees, and then push us back into the material world. Especially devotees don't ever want to take another birth. Because we've realized that this is not the place where I belong to. I belong there, not here. Illi irodu summane, alli irodu namma mane. Why am I here struggling? But while I'm struggling, I have to also take care of the anarthas which are coming. I have to also take care of the demons who are actually taking shelter under my own body. Another very simple example from Bhagavad Gita is that Arjuna, just before the battle of Kurukshetra, goes and meets Krishna, and he's sitting at the lotus feet of Krishna at the foot end. And Krishna tells him, what do you want? I have two options for you. I have my Narayani Sena, my whole army, which will join you, or I will join you. But if I'm joining you, if I'm a part of your army, I'm not going to lift the weapons. So in the material world, most of the time this question comes to us. You have the glamour of the material world, you have the fame, you have the name, you have money. And on the other side you have Krishna. And quite a few times we get lured away with the anarthas. We take it up knowingly or unknowingly. And please understand, these anarthas are very, very subtle. You will not understand them, you will not take them, very closely. They are very subtle. They just come into you because you are devotees. I have one very small, very positive note from Srila Prabhupada, and I would like to read as it is. Srila Prabhupada writes that we should do when we cross the stage of Anartha Nivritti. By his practical activity, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed us how to cleanse our hearts. Once the heart is cleansed, we should invite Lord Krishna to sit down, and we should observe the festivals by distributing prasadam and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to teach every devotee by his own personal behavior. Everyone who spreads the Krishna consciousness movement or the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts a similar responsibility. So this is all of us. The Lord is very pleased with those who could cleanse the temple by taking out undesirable things accumulated within. It's talking about our body. Our body is a temple. And as devotees, we have to take out all the undesirable things which have accumulated over the period of time. This is called Anartha Nivritti, cleansing the heart of unwanted things. Thus, the cleansing of Gundisha Marjanam was conducted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to let us know the heart should be cleansed and soothed to receive Sri Krishna to enable him to sit within the heart without disturbance. So till the time that we have all these anarthas, Krishna is not going to enter our heart. He's not going to come and sit in our heart. And to it, Bhaktivinoda Thakur adds, the devotee who worships the holy name should first petition the Lord for the strength to cast all these unfavorable tendencies, and should pray thus before Lord Hari on daily basis. By doing this regularly, the devotee's heart will eventually become purified. Shri Krishna has killed a number of demons which may rise in the kingdom of art. So in order to destroy these problems, a devotee must cry very humbly before the Lord and admit defeat. Then the Lord will nullify all the contaminations. What is the natural surrender for the devotees? The natural surrender for our devotees is only Krishna. We see amongst all the people, while the mother is standing and the child cries out, the child only reaches out to mother and mother only reaches out to the child. There are so many distractions. Many times in festivals we see that the child is separated from the mother, and the mother is looking for the child and the child is also looking for mother, and he cries out. The mother goes to the right direction where the child is. How many of you have seen Goshala? All of us have seen Goshala, right? Have you seen the little calf? Among hundreds of cows, the calf reaches out to its own mother. How is it possible? That's what Krishna tells us. That amongst all these material activities that you really see, you have to reach out to me. And the process is Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. There's nothing other than that can help you to reach out to Krishna and clear these anarthas that we have in our life. And with the killing of Aristasura, there's another very nice pastime that gave, which is the other pastime that happened because of the killing of Aristasura. The appearance of Radhakunda and Shyamakunda happened. When Krishna killed Aristasura, Radharani tells Krishna that you are a coward boy. How can you kill a Govansh? How can you kill a bull? Now you'll have to go and take bath in all the holy rivers. And that's how Radhakunda and Shyamakunda came into existence. Somebody else may discuss about this pastime. So we will end the session here. I've completed everything, and I've also completed the time that was allocated to me. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. If there are any doubts, I'll be happy to answer them. And if there are any comments, I'll be happy to take them, and also corrections. Ishwara Hari Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Can I take it in the reverse order? Ishwara Hari Prabhu is always one of my, in one sense, a very nice devotee and a very nice guide. Many times we've had a lot of discussions on the Shastras as well in the past. We've had a lot of yatras with him, and he goes into depth of everything. Thank you, Prabhu, for asking all the 3 questions. So your last question was, how long can we go on? The train will keep running till it reaches its destination. We have no option. Till the time that we go back home, back to Godhead, we have to keep trying. That's our efforts that we have to put. And you've also, I'll just complete and then maybe you can add, Prabhu. There are 2 things which are involved here in the month of Damodar Kartik Damodar Maas. The 2-finger short story comes. One is our endeavor, and the second one is Krishna's mercy. So we have to keep trying till the time that the second one doesn't happen. So that's my answer to your 3rd question, Prabhu. Sorry, you wanted to add something. Please go ahead. I'll answer your second question. How do we accept Krishna as a person? Okay. There are 3 things. I am a dull-headed man, so I don't follow anything beyond Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. If my Guru tells me that Krishna is a person, I accept it. If the Sadhus have told me in the sense I've heard from the senior Vaishnavas that Krishna is a person, I accept it. Our Shastras confirm that Krishna is a person, so I accept it. And this is my answer to your second question, how do we accept Krishna as a person? I depend on these 3 solid proofs, or 3 solid dependencies that I have. That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or Krishna is a person. So that answers your second question. What is the first question, Prabhu? If you can repeat once again. That's a very intricate question. Very important, as I said, Guru, Sadhu and Shastras guide us always in our spiritual life. And somewhere, because of some sukruti, all of us stumble across devotees, or all of us stumble across godly people. And that's how we have to identify that we are in the right direction and move ahead with it. I'm sure, at least for me, if I call myself, I was an atheist when I was a little boy. I didn't believe in anything. And today, if I and trusting Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. It's the causeless mercy of the Lord which changed my mind. So, my own example I can take, I don't know about the others. So, this would be my answer, Prabhu. If anybody wants to add anything to the answer that I gave, or if you want to add something to Ishwar Hari Prabhu's comments, you can.
Yeah, very good question comes up. If all the three Guru, Sadhu and Shastra are misquoting Shastra, then what next?
Again, as I said, I am a dull-headed man. To me, a Guru never misquotes, Sadhus never misquote, Shastras never misguide. So, this is my firm faith in Krishna, that this three he has given, and this three will never misquote, misguide or mislead me. So, that's my answer, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I hope I have answered your questions.
It's a question. Right or wrong, Krishna has decided devotee devotee.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. You're very kind. Any other questions from any other devotees? Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nathai Gaur Premanande. Thank you once again for this opportunity the temple management gave me today to speak on the subject. Though I am not qualified, nor am I that educated, but still I feel it's an honor that was given to me today. Thank you very much for the honor. Hare Krishna.